What happens is, as children, we're invalidated in tiny ways and consistently enough to the point that we begin to identify our own worth with what we have to offer others. And so we are given lots of praise and attention when we're doing for others, and then when we're not, we're often just kind of left on our own and in a way passively ignored, not on purpose, but we're not getting a lot of attention for self-care, and we're getting a lot of attention for other care, if that makes sense. And so that's kind of the making of the codependent. So what happens naturally is codependents act on that constantly. In order to seek validation and to feel good about ourselves, we begin to seek out opportunities to help people, because in that way we think if we are of service to others and if we help others, and if that's what makes us valuable and worth loving and worth being cared about by them. And on the flip side, the types of people who tend to look for people like us are those who are a little higher on the spectrum of narcissism or dependency. They have that sense of being incapable of taking care of themselves, or they have that sense of being entitled that others should do for them. And so whether it's one or the other, those are the types of people who are naturally attracted to us. And so what happens is, technically we're both responsible for making that partnership happen. You know, it feels like they just shine a light on us when we are doing these great things for them. We become dependent on that. But what happens is, because that is the only basis for our relationship, is that need, their need for us, when they don't need us, we're nothing to them. We feel like nothing to them, and they go and seek meeting their needs from other places or other people. It's very easy for them to dismiss us and move on. It doesn't make them necessarily bad people. You know, we can't change other people, but we can change our own patterns. And recognizing when you are feeling resentful, when you find yourself exhausted, when you find yourself avoiding certain relationships, that's your ding, 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 ding. I am behaving in a codependent way that is allowing others to get the impression that they can continue to ask for help. And of course, you know, people are going to milk you for all you're willing to give. And so it's your job to set that boundary and say, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I need to take care of myself today. Part of setting those boundaries and saying and doing those things, the really terrifying piece is, especially if they're more on that dependency or narcissistic side of things, they're going to be very upset. That person is going to be very angry with you when you set boundaries with them. That person's going to be very offended. They're going to feel hopeless. They might have meltdowns or outbursts. They may stonewall you and put a wall up and not talk to you for a while to punish you, or, you know, you'll get some of that emotional blackmail. And that's a sign that you're in a codependent relationship. And again, this doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make them a bad person. It's just that really unhealthy dynamic that got created, and it's really hard to shift that. Be patient when people are responding in a way that's negative, to remind ourselves what they're going through as well. Allows us to, one, continue to set the boundary, because it reminds us that we're doing the right thing and we're teaching them something by not being that enabler anymore. But on the flip side, we're taking care of ourselves by maintaining that boundary.